Ian, it's so lovely to talk to you here in Dublin this morning.
Thank you very much. It's a joy to be here.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, when you say Ian McKellen, Shakespeare, movie actor, and people might say Panto, but Panto was your first love, and it's how you found your love of stage.
Yes, and I dare say it's true in Dublin, isn't it? That perhaps the first theatre you'll ever see, live theatre, that makes an impact is a pantomime.
Yeah.
And it makes an impact because A, you're going out with your family, siblings, parents, uncles, aunts, grannies.
Mm-hmm. The whole family.
And all laughing at the same things and enjoying the same things and doing it next to other families.
Well, I was lucky enough to see Mother Goose in London and I just absolutely adored it. I've done Panto here for nearly 30 years and I sort of said I loved it because of what it was. It was the good old traditional Panto.
Yes, I'm glad you thought that. And I said to Jonathan Harvey, who writes Coronation Street,
yeah.
I said, don't make me just a man in a frock. That's not in itself funny. Create a sort of dame who might be sitting in the Rover's Return of an evening, you know, shouting the answer. Somebody who might be a magistrate in her spare time. A member of the town's women's guild. You know, yes. Somebody in the community, and that's what he's come up with. So you'll have noticed that although I wear, I think there are 11 different costumes.
There's amazing costumes in it, and you look fabulous.
But thank you. But many of them are just clothes rather than outrageous frocks. You know.
Right.
And I feel that always with the handbag, of course.
Yeah. And do you feel like when you get into the frock, as you say, that Mother Goose comes alive?
There's a moment when Tom, my helper and dresser on this occasion, puts me into the frock and we get the tights on. Ooh, they're trouble, aren't they? Oh, boys.
Luckily, I don't have to wear tights.
Don't envy the girls wearing tights. You get the tights on. Oh, and then you get the knickers on, and then you get the bra on, and everything else on, and then I put the frock. He pulls the frock, and I step into the frock, and I stand in front of the mirror every day, and as it goes up over the boobs and does up, and we put the pearl necklace on, and there she is.
And do you do the lips every day?
I do the lips every day, and I say, "How are you, Mother Goose?" I love it. I'm so sentimental about it as an audience, but also as a performer.
And I love the way you said that you wanted your dame to be a certain way. Do you see that, the way the world is going at the moment, about will the dame have to die off because of political correctness and all this? What do you think?
I did wonder whether, with current feelings, that perhaps some people might object to a man in a frock. But this man in the frock is an actor playing a part.
Yeah. Mm.
I've played all sorts of characters.
You certainly have.
And a couple of them have been women. So I'm not being disrespectful to women, certainly not. She's the strongest woman in the story, and she, to my money, is the nicest person in the show. So I'm very pro. My dame is very pro women.
Yes, very much so.
And sticking up for them. So I hope no one would take it amiss. There is nothing innately funny to me about a man in a frock. But I think back to Norman Evans and Les Dawson and people, those sort of, they made real women.
Yeah.
They weren't mocking women.
Yeah.
They were real women.
The boob, the move of the boob.
But of course, it is theatre.
Yeah.
So I am playing Ian McKellen as well as Mother Goose. And if that sounds complicated, that's the beauty of theatre. Because theatre can be complicated, and it's no problem. No problem. Everybody knows it's Ian McKellen talking about himself, even though he's wearing a wig and a frock. It's complicated, but that's what makes theatre so rich.
And I love the thing about Panto as well, and especially this show with you in it, that you can break that fourth wall because you do have the skit about going into Shakespeare and going into golf and all that, like Lord of the Rings, and just for a brief moment, and then you're back into the show.
Yeah.
That's really cleverly done.
But isn't that, I know, but it's something you couldn't do in television.
No.
You couldn't do it in film. It's just in live theatre, you can do anything. And I think that's what's the excitement about pantomime. Anything goes. It's like a Christmas pudding. There may be a sixpence in there may be a cherry, there may be a nut, you don't know what, a date.
And is it the joy of an audience? I mean, when you look out into the audience and that thrill you get by looking into a live audience,
well,
that you don't get in TV or you don't get in the movies.
And in a pantomime, not only is the audience there, I think, more than any other entertainment, they are the star of the show.
Yeah.
If they're not having
fun,
a really good time, if they're not having fun, if they're not working hard to have a good time, then the show doesn't work. And it's our responsibility on stage to get everyone worked up and excited and fulfilled.
You're such a hard worker and grafter, and I love that you still get that thrill to do that. And I love the quote that somebody asked you, do you ever get nervous on stage? And you said, I get nervous when I'm not on stage.
That's true. Yes. I'm very much at home on stage, and when I was growing up, a rather nervous child, for a number of reasons, I think, and shy, to discover that on stage, I wasn't anything like that. I could be bold and express myself because I felt safe. And why did I feel safe? Not because I was standing up in front of a lot of strangers with a light on me, drawing attention to myself, but because the thing had been rehearsed. There was a script.
Yeah.
I knew what was going to happen next, which is not true of life, after all. So I've held on to that security, and no, if I'm feeling, if I'm not feeling very well physically, or I'm a bit upset or a bit out of sorts, I get on stage and Dr. Theatre takes over, guides me through.
Well, I have to tell everybody who's looking in this morning that it's going to be, you have to come and see Mother Goose because you are just, as I said to you before we went film this, I said, I could not take my eyes off you on stage.
Oh,
you were just electrifying.
Well, there's
and
a
the
lot
whole
to look
show.
at, isn't
there's
there?
a whole show, the costumes, the characters.
And don't we have a fantastic
You do.
cast?
You have a fantastic
the
cast.
Support. I mean, one shouldn't call them support. I mean, they're stalwarts, and of course I normally work with drama people. These are song and dance people. And God,
well,
it's a thrill to
I
be
won't
with
give too much away, but there's singing, you sing, you dance, and you practically get naked. So I'm going to leave it at that. Come and see Mother Goose. Ian, thank you so much. It was
Lovely
a pleasure.
To see you,
thank you. It was a
and
pleasure.
I want to come see you.
You can come next year. I'll let you know what we're doing.
Simon Sausage.
Sammy Sausage?
Sammy Sausage.